never forget the night I stayed at that old motel. It was late, maybe around midnight, when I finally pulled into the parking lot. I'd been driving for hours and just needed a place to crash for the night. The place looked run down, but I was too tired to care. When I walked into the office, there was this old man behind the counter. He barely said a word, just handed me the key to room 104 with this weird, almost creepy smile. His hand brushed against mine when he gave me the key, and it was so cold, it made me shiver, but I just wanted to get to bed, so I didn't think much of it at the time. As I walked to my room, I noticed how quiet it was. There were no other cars in the lot, no other guests around, just this heavy, uncomfortable silence. I thought it was strange, but I told myself it was just a slow night. When I opened the door to room 104, I was hit by this musty smell, like the room hadn't been used in years. Everything looked old. The bedspread was faded, the furniture was worn out, and the wallpaper was peeling. But I was exhausted, so I just locked the door behind me and collapsed onto the bed. That's when things started to feel really off. The room was too quiet, like the kind of quiet that makes your ears ring. The darkness felt heavy, like it was pressing in on me. I tried to convince myself it was just nerves, maybe a side effect of being so tired. But then I started hearing things. At first, it was just small noises, like creaks and groans, the kind you might expect from an old building. But then I heard something that made my blood run cold. It was the sound of footsteps, slow, deliberate footsteps, right outside my door. I froze. My heart was pounding so loud, I thought it might burst out of my chest. I stared at the door, barely daring to breathe. The footsteps stopped, right in front of my room. I could feel someone, or something, standing on the other side. I don't know how long I lay there, just staring at that door, but it felt like an eternity. Then, I heard it, a whisper, so faint, I almost thought I was imagining it. But it was real, and it was right outside my door. The voice was low and raspy, like someone struggling to speak. It said, "Let me in." I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I was paralyzed with fear. I just lay there, praying it would go away. The footsteps started again, moving away from my door, but I could still hear that whisper, repeating over and over, "Let me in, let me in." Eventually, the sounds faded and the silence returned. I didn't sleep at all that night. I just sat up in bed, clutching the covers, waiting for morning. As soon as the first light of dawn peeked through the curtains, I grabbed my things and bolted out of that room. When I dropped the key off at the front desk, the old man was gone. In his place was a younger woman who looked surprised to see me. She told me that room 104 had been out of service for years, ever since a guest had been found dead in there. They say he was trying to escape something that wouldn't let him leave. I didn't wait to hear anymore. I just got in my car and drove as fast as I could, putting as much distance as possible between me and that cursed motel. I'll never forget the sound of those footsteps, or that whisper begging to be let in.